Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Fred Johnson from the Straz Center for the Performing Arts in Tampa, Florida. Welcome to our Arts and Mind Village chat in association with Johns Hopkins University. My co-host Susan Mag-Salmon is here with me, and I am honored to have Mr. Keith Lee, Mr. John Parks, Ms. Diane Harvey, and Mr. Abdel Salam as our team in this conversation about dance and dance as a healing modality. Mr. Keith Lee, artist, laureate, choreographer, and master teacher, studied at the High School of the Performing Arts, the Harkness School of Ballet, and School of the American Ballet. He's also a solo performer. He's performed in many dance companies, including the American Ballet Theater and the Alvin Ailey Company, where he also served as a time as the ballet master. Created ballets for the American Ballet Theater, Washington Ballet, Geneva Ballet, Alvin Ailey Repertory Ensemble, in addition to works for television, film, and video. He's a recipient of 2 Capizio Awards for Excellent Outstanding Artist Awards for Dance from the Virginia Commission and Artist Laureate Award. We welcome Keith Lee. John Parks, who really is one of the main motivators for this conversation about dance. He's a New York native who attended the High School of the Performing Arts, Juilliard School of Music, the Sylvia Fort Studios, the Graham School, and Clark Center, just to name a few. Performed with Alvin Ailey, Jose Limon, Anna Sokolov, Donald McHale, Pearl Primus, Elio Pomer, Chuck Davis, Martha Clark. He's been teaching at the University of South Florida for over 30 years. And has recently established the Parks Institute, which is dedicated to promoting dance as a healing modality. Welcome, John Parks. Abdel Salam is the Executive Artistic Director and co-founder of Forces of Nature Dance Theater. Founded in 1981, born in Harlem, New York, Abdel is a critically acclaimed award-winning choreographer, and in the past served as a dance teacher and performing artist in 5 continents. Throughout his 49 years in dance, he's performed and choreographed all over the world. Received numerous awards and fellowships for excellence in dance, including the 2013 Aldelco Award for Dance Company of the Year, the 2017 Bessie for Outstanding Production, and the 2019 Lifetime Achievement Award from the American Dance Guild. In addition to appearances on stage, television, and film, he has served as a choreographer and/or director for the New York Shakespeare Festival, the Billie Holiday Theater, the Apollo Theater, and N.J. Pax Kwanzaa celebrations. The Winter Solstice at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, the New York Musical Theater Festival, BAM, Black Dance USA, and the Tennessee Performing Arts Center. Mr. Salam is one of the directors of the Harlem Children's Zone, Forces of Nature Youth Academy of Dance and Wellness, as well as the artistic director of Brooklyn Academy of Music's longest running program and festival, Dance Africa. Welcome, Abdel Salam. Ms. Diane Harvey is a 2017 Bessie Award winner and founding member assistant to the director of Forces of Nature Theater Company, a 36-year-old Harlem-based company whose mission is the preservation of this planet and the empowerment of our audiences. Other recognition awards include the Aldelco Woman of Distinction Monarch Merit Award. She has performed as principal solo with the Elio Pomer Dance Company for over 30 years, having toured the United States, Italy, Australia, and Lagos, Nigeria, as a U.S. representative of Festac, the second Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture. Also having performed with Tony Award-winning George Faison's Universal Dance Experience, Dunham veteran Walter Nix Dance Theater, Otis Salid's New Arts Ensemble, Dance Brazil, Trinidad Repertory Dance Theater, Contemporary Chamber Dance Theater. She was a collaborator with both Natakshange and Sonia Sanchez. Having appeared on Broadway and in film, she teaches at both Princeton and Hofstra universities. Gratitude to the Most High and ancestors, she says. Welcome, Diane Harvey. And we are happy to have as our co-host Ms. Susan Mag-Salmon. She is the founder and executive director of the International Arts and Mind Lab, a pioneering neuroaesthetics initiative from the Brain Science Institute at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. Her body of work lies at the intersection of brain science and the arts, and how our unique response to aesthetic experiences can amplify human potential. Ms. Mag Salmon is the author of the Impact Thinking Model, an evidence-based research approach to accelerate how we use the arts to solve problems in health, well-being, and learning. Welcome, Susan Mag Salmon. Wow.
You know, really the excitement of possibility is something that really crosses my path on a daily basis. And, you know, there's nothing so wonderful as to create and creation. And I find that, you know, in the glory of dance and the creativity of it, we meet. We all meet there in those places that are so special to our public as we bring it into our communities, as we communicate. And there I was by myself. But when we create, it goes out to everybody.
What triggered my participation as a young dancer, just watching something on television, black and white TV in the 50s. I was inspired by the fact that I thought I could do movement like what I saw. And I just irritated my parents to the point where they said, okay, fine, we're going to take you to this ballet class. Yes, you can do it. And it's just the internal feeling of power and belief in self, and this idea of self-esteem. And um, I have this funny phrase about how dancers are control freaks, but we like to control our bodies in space. It feels good to be able to move through space and to make our bodies do these things. And so, as a young child, just seeing the visual of specifically Arthur Mitchell and Maria Tallchief do the Something in the Nutcracker, just it struck a chord within me. And so that feeling is still somehow still happening even today at this age in my life. So it's this idea of I can control what I'm feeling and how I'm moving, and I can express something to those who are observing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Community.
You know,
I came up as a visual arts student, as a music student, and as a student around clothes and fashion. The last thing that I knew how to do, as a matter of fact, I was a horrible mover. And the Four Tops came on around 1967, 68, and they did I'll Be There. And, you know, somebody who was like the, you know, like the kind of geek at the parties, you know, who couldn't dance and move, all of a sudden I got up and it just clicked for me. You know, I wasn't a student of dance at that time. I had to start studying formally, but finding the rhythm that existed at that time in social dancing, it opened up an entire life of possibilities for me. And I went on to that and went on through that at Music and Art and did Pajama Game as Charlie the janitor, and met Mother Joan Miller in 1968. And she was the first one to introduce the construct to me that dance was a healing force or healing energy.
mm,
um, Women, for the women's movement, for our people, for the struggles. In our particular generation, most of us are boomers. You know, we were exposed to all kinds of social political movements. And the one thing that existed at that time, that we all learned, was that we could utilize dance and choreography as a ways and means to empower people, to heal emotional trauma, and to find ways and means to project ideas and visions that would take us into the future. So I would say that for a lot of us as choreographers and as artists, dance not only becomes a way for us to heal the audiences, but is a way for us to heal ourselves, for
mm.
us to address the internal darkness that exists within us, you know, and find ways to continue to discover that light, you know, that exists within our art forms. And the rest of my life, the rest of my dance journey has been about using dance as a healing modality through Kwanzaa, through Dance Africa, through forces of nature, through the planet. It ultimately is all about us using movement as a way, in essence, for healing.
is this idea that our stories begin when we're born, right? Our stories begin before we're born. And so the legacies of what we inherit genetically, what we learn as young children, what we're conditioned into, enters our body. So there's this whole idea around embodied cognition, what we hold on to, what we get stuck in sometimes. And I think the word movement is exactly the right word, because it takes us out of that stuck place. You know, neuroplasticity is kind of a baseline for a lot of the things that we think about, which is that our brains continue to grow and change neurologically throughout our life. And so what you do with your brain, what you do with your body directly impacts that plasticity. Rhythm is such an innate part of who we are. You know, we are born into rhythm. We're born into a heartbeat. We're born into the motions of amniotic fluid. So there's this ability for us already to understand rhythm and to calm ourselves with rhythm, but also to get us excited in rhythm too, and to get us feeling alive and feeling more essential in the world. Abdel, you had talked about this idea of the cosmos always moving, and I feel like a way to think about human movement is to think about the cosmos movement, which is that we're all moving all the time, and when we stop, we atrophy. And so movement is, to me, an essential part of life, and biologically it is this idea of birth, death, and rebirth. So over and over again, that's what happens in the life of a cell. That's what happens with a neuron. And so the ability to be able to continue to move really is life itself.
John, you know, share with us, you know, your entree and understanding of movement and dance as a healing modality. And would you also speak to one of the things that impacted me the most when I heard you talk, and that was like the sociological relevance of creating dance and its alignment to what's happening in the society. So we you know, we talked first about your personal experience, but then, you know, this is a great kind of a progression into a larger conversation about the sociological significance of creating art that really speaks to who we are.
Was actually Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers and tap dance. Actually, you know, I first started studying tap dance at Mary Bruce on 125th Street and 7th Avenue, and it was something that I was inspired to do in terms of movement, in terms of music. There was this song called Mule Train, which was Frankie Lane's Mule Train. And I listened to a lot of jazz and a lot of gospel. My mother played a lot of different kind of music in the house, but that seemed to have a fast rhythm and a slow rhythm. And it had like a variety of different kind of pulses and rhythms that really kind of excite me. So I started studying dance at a real early age, around 5 years old. And so, like Abdel, yeah, the rhythm caught me. The rhythm caught me, and I kind of hung on to it. It is a way to express feelings, you know, love, hate, dreams, aspirations, forecasting things to happen in the future, commenting on things in the present, can be communicated and not communicated through dance. It is a litmus test in terms of our life, in a sense, because as we move and as we do gestures and we are commenting on the environment and society and the culture in which we exist in. Dance, for me, has always been healing. It has quenched my soul. It has calmed my spirit. It has given me visions of movement and of ideas through dance. When I see dance, I see another language. I see another way of communicating, another way of impacting oneself.
I'd add that I think dance is primal, right? It's so part of who we are evolutionarily, that I think it moves with us every day in every way. You make me think about this idea of healing and what healing really means versus, not versus, and what it means to thrive. So healing to me is helping to mend, right? Bring together, make something whole. And thriving is to go beyond. And I think that dance has a unique ability to both heal and thrive, to look at loss and potential. And that's an extraordinary thing that, and because it's so physical, I feel like it washes over you in a way that no other art form can do.
You know, when we talk about healing, we always want to think about healing in terms of something is wrong, so therefore we're trying to rectify it. We're trying to heal or correct something, that we're trying to make something a balance that's an imbalance. And but healing, and maybe healing is not the right word, but there's also a sense of maintenance, of holding, of keeping something at a particular pulse or a particular energy or a particular force that maintains you.
Inside of the balance is the dance. Inside of the dance is identity. And with the identity comes the signature. So this is all very, very, very personal. And that's what dance is. Dance is very personal.
I just want to reference something that Catherine Dunham said. Initially, she thought that dance, or she considered that dance was the body's response to rhythm or interpretation of rhythm. And then she saw a concert, Dr. Gloria Van Scott produced an evening of soloists, the divas, blah, blah, blah. And she said, I'd like to amend that or add to the fact that she recognized that dance was the soul trying to pull away from the body and the body trying to remove itself from the soul. So there was this tug and pull that she perceived was happening through these pieces that she watched that evening. So it's just interesting hearing about these other concepts, but then it made me think about what Dunham wanted to share with her audience, how the soul and rhythm are interplaying with this thing called movement, dance, whatever we want to call it.
My wish is that I would like for them to come away with a more profound understanding of what is being impacted on them and what's being communicated to them. A lot of people go to the theater and watch dance, and oh, that's nice, or that's interesting, or that's exciting, and they think of it more of entertainment. My hope is that you go to see something for therapy. You go to see it because you want to get uplifted. You go to see it because what you see is administrating information and data for you that's going to help you in your everyday life. What you go to see correspondence, how what you see in terms of dance corresponds with your life. And I would like for maybe the audience to think about it a little bit more deeper and think about other ways that the dance can inform and help them in terms of healing.
Through dance and movement and rhythm and the culture, that a specific audience, as a matter of fact, thousands of people come every single year. They started out in a small school, and now it's at the Apollo Theater 39 years ago. And what they always come up and say to me is, I'm coming back because this is a physiological movement, almost like chiropractic fix of my spirit and my soul. Some people even make sure they buy tickets so they're sitting next to the drummers. And as they watch the children perform or dance, whether, you know, there's the elders passing on through a ceremony where they're building a city together, and the company dances and guest artists perform and musicians perform, and it all happens in this intergenerational, familial, you know, child, parental, teacher, member of the community experience. What they say to me all the time is that I am healed. That I come in order to be healed, but I come in order to be regenerated, so that I can get a vision, you know, of what this healing is going, how this healing is going to take me, you know, through the year, yeah, each and every day, just like the Nguzo Saba. Culture is not just art, music, and dance. It is a living energy. It's a life form. That when the doctor wants to heal you, he says, let me take a culture, right? And let me examine all of those elements that exist within the culture. There's birth, there's life, there's death, there's history of disease. There are all of these things that happen. So that when I look at what has happened for us as a community, it is the culture and the movement and the dance, which constantly heals us. And I think that the last thing that I'll say is that this dark experience that we're in is doing something, right, to the culture, not just of us as individuals, but the culture of humanity. Yeah. You know, is forcing us to take a look at ourselves and figure out ways that we can continue the dance together, right? One of the
most important things is the audience. We do need them there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We do need them there. We need them sitting in the seats. So the presence of mind, presence of people, presence of the humanity, that's really what we need. You can be in an audience, but not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. If you're in the audience, you need to be present in the moment of the dance and of the theater to really experience.
There are research studies that show the connection between the artist and the audience, and brainwaves actually sync up. So when the audience and that dancer is connecting, they actually are connecting in a biochemical sort of way. And I think to the point about what is happening biologically, you know, when you think about dance and joy, you think about reward and dopamine. When you think about reducing stress, you're lowering cortisol. When you think about the serotonin and that sort of feeling good, feeling alive, feeling connected, creating culture, belonging, oxytocin, right? So we are chemical beings. We are biochemical beings inside this form, right? The spirit, the soul, the chemicals. So movement changes those chemicals inside of us and makes us closer, helps us create that environment or that culture. And so, you know, it's so powerful, and how much is happening when blood is flowing through your whole body, that dance allows that to happen. And so I think, you know, with an audience, when you become one and then you separate and then you become many and then you separate, that's really the way that nature works. And I think dance is such a beautiful metaphor for that. But these neurobiochemical explosions that are happening change you. They're not just a thing, they change you. They change you forever. They give you another year. They give you a different point of view. They give you a different perspective. And so I think the biology of dance is also quite beautiful.
Our goal with the Art and Mind Village Chat is to really have a wonderful combination of interpersonal and authentic experience from the artist, and an alignment to the science and research that really brings together a deeper understanding of the overarching importance of art as healing modalities. I want to thank you, Keith Lee, and you, John Parks, and Abdel Salam, and Diane Harvey Salam, and Susan Mag Salmon for our time together here in this amazing yet short journey about the importance of arts. So appreciate you all. Susan, so appreciate the opportunity to continue this journey. When we come together next time, we will have a conversation about music as a modality for healing. So thank you all. for being a part of this journey together. Thanks to everybody looking in, and our appreciation from the Straz Center for the vision of the Straz Center for the Performing Arts to recognize the importance of art and its health and healing components. Thank you guys all. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. Blessings to you. Until next time, everybody, take care, be safe, be strong, stay well. I'm Fred Johnson. See ya.